Ladies and gentlemen, to honor America, please stand for our national anthem. The horses are now nearing the starting gate. And they're off. As the field comes into the stretch. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Aqueduct. And we have an absolutely gorgeous spring day. Sunny skies, the temperature will be in the upper 60s. Main track is fast, the turf courses are firm. And here now the changes for today's 8-race card. In the first race, scratch number 1, Irish Giant. Scratch the 1. In the second race, these scratches, scratch 1, Sophie Fatale, 4, Full of Fire, 5, Emmy Winner, and 6, Tremaine. Second race, scratch 1, 4, 5, and 6. No changes in race 3, which begins the Empire 6. The fourth race is on the outer turf course, scratch 7, as it should be, and 10, Amendment 19. Fourth race, scratch numbers 7 and 10. No changes in races 5 or 6. In the seventh race, which is on the outer turf, scratch 1A, She's a Black Belt, 5, Signify, and 8, Forever Changed. In the seventh, scratch 1A, 5, and 8. And in the eighth race, which will be run on the inner turf course, scratch 8, Tilsa, 10, Little Nutter, and 12, A Higher Love. In the eighth, scratch 8, 10, and 12. Main track is fast, the turf courses are firm, and there are no portable rails in use today. We'll be back at 12:50 to recap the changes. Today's first race post is at 1:20. Up next, Andy Serling and Anthony Stabile. They are talking horses.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to Talking Horses. Big A Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. Another
Hello.
week of racing here at Aqueduct. 4-day racing week about
Only got
to
2
kick
weeks
off.
left.
That's right. 2 weeks
Amazing.
left, then heading over to Belmont.
Yes.
How you
Thanks,
doing?
Andy. I'm good. You?
All's well. All's well. Orioles came back and won yesterday against the Yankees. People are very upset when I make fun of the Yankees when I go to games. Like,
Well, you
like
can't
it's
go.
personal.
You can't go anymore. They're 1-0 when you.
It's
when you go.
like personal or something. Like they're upset. Like,
You can't go to Yankee Stadium anymore.
you know, like, do you take it personally if somebody roots against the Mets? I don't.
No.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah. Like,
I root against the Yankees.
people
I
are
can't-
allowed
you
to root
gotta-
against
you gotta-
teams, and it's part of fun of sports,
If
right?
you dish it out, you have to be able to take it.
Yeah, it's
That's
fun.
it.
They get very testy.
Very well, the Yankees.
It was nice to be at the game.
Yankees.
It's nice to be here. Nice day.
I want to get to a Mets game soon. I'm gonna get to a Mets game soon.
You and I
We're
went.
gonna get
Last
out
time
there.
I went to a game
We
before
did.
that. You and I went to a Mets game.
right.
Anyhow, everybody is well. Nice weekend of racing coming up. Saturday's card, Danger's Hour. Analyze it. And Decorated Invader.
Yeah.
Nice matchup between
Fun
those
race.
two. We'll see if Decorated Invader can get his career back on track. I think, he was a classic example last year of a horse who was a bit overrated. I think people expected more of him than he was capable of giving. And I think that's the problem when people overrate these horses. They end up sort of knocking them when were never that. I mean, he's a nice horse.
Maybe
but
not even overrated, but
he was he was.
You think so? I thought
he was
maybe
insanely
just a little
overrated.
ahead of the crop.
No.
And they caught up.
No, he was insanely overrated.
Okay.
They talked about
You
him
know,
after
you
being
can have somebody can have a different opinion. Amazingly.
But which were the big
I
races
just
he
think
had run?
I just think they caught up to him, Andy. I don't think he was that. I don't think he was overrated. I just think there were horses that were better. I think there's a difference. I think they just caught up to him and got better. And I'll tell you another thing.
Well,
I think they got better as the distances got longer.
Well, that may be the case, but he was the horse he was. You say they got better. He just wasn't facing particularly good horses when he was
Perhaps.
winning. That's the case when he faced better horses that were better than him. They beat him. I think it's a question of catching up to him. You think he was a wildly precocious horse?
Well, didn't he beat domestic spending? And then when listens got longer, domestic spending, they beat him?
He beat him in domestic spending when it was a very slow pace. Domestic spending was way too far behind, and he beat him by about a length and a half.
I'm with you. I think domestic spending is tons better than him, but I'm just saying.
Well,
I think they
Time's
they
probably
kinda
better going a
caught
little
up.
longer. Not sure what we're talking about here. Let's go over to Naira Bets because I have no idea what the conversation's even about. Anyway, use promo code MATCH200. If you're not a member of Naira Bets, sign up for Naira Bets. We will match the $200 of your initial deposit. If you're a member of Naira Bets, I wish they could be a little louder in that office next
It's
door.
amazing, isn't it?
Nice, yeah. I'm going to be knocking on that door in about 2 minutes.
You leave me alone? Think that's a good idea?
I may send you in over there,
Wow.
and you'll never hear a peep out of them.
That's true.
Saturday
That
contests
is
are back.
true.
$300 contest. My friend Nick Tamaro was second in
I saw
the
that.
big contest this weekend.
Third time in like four contests or something. He was hey, gets to the
He and I
NBC.
finished second or third at Keeneland, and I want to say 2014. Anyhow, Nick's great. $300 buy-in, all cash prizes. One way to play, good way to play the races. Even if you don't get a prize, you still keep any money you may make. That's every Saturday, and you have until tomorrow at 5 o'clock to sign up. Merrick's Day of the Race is back on a daily basis. We'll be covering our races here at Oaklawn as well from 1 to 6:30. Maggie is at Oaklawn. She will not be on air today. She's traveling down to Hot Springs, but she'll be down there for the next few days. And it's Richie and Acacia and Greg Wolf and myself today handling the duties. And we'll start the action in today's first race, where Obsessed is going to be a heavy favorite. We'll show Obsessed going back 2 starts, finishing second to Chestertown, and then we'll show you a stat for trainer Todd Pletcher with his first time for a tag horses. I got to tell you what I don't like about him, and he's the horse to beat. I'm not going to deny it, and he's going to be a heavy favorite. I don't like Todd's first time for a tag numbers. I think the bad numbers first time for a tag are good numbers. There are some people here that don't understand that and get upset when I put it up, but Todd Pletcher wouldn't be one of them. Because if you're dropping them down and they don't run well, there's a reason you're dropping them. And when Todd drops them, there's a reason. And I got to tell you something, this horse's last race was bad. Because it's not like this horse was wildly off the rail last time, where the rail was good and he was bad. And Todd's numbers dropping down, especially at Naira, and they're not that much better anywhere else, but they're particularly bad here. They're not good, and I just don't want to pick this horse, but he's the horse to beat.
I feel exactly the same. The last race is the one that I think really has to worry you. I don't think he did put a lot of running 2 starts back when he was second.
No, but he beat Oscar.
But I mean, that race last time out, that was just not a good look, not a good effort.
So what do you like about Dangerous Edge?
Well, I didn't love the rate.
What do you like about Dangerous Edge? It's always the I don't like anybody else.
Because that's how I do my handicapping in these races. I'm not picking a horse like Obsessed. I'm not picking a horse like Jerusalem Gates.
Okay, we'll get to Jerusalem Gates. But what do you like about Dangerous Edge?
I'm left with Dangerous Edge. I'm hoping, again, it's hoping that, with a horse like Obsessed in here, if he goes and finds his speed, and I think that's the other problem with Obsessed, he hasn't had his speed in the last couple of races. If he goes and finds his speed...
He never had speed.
If he goes and finds his speed...
He never had speed. He was on top of slow paces, Anthony. He's never had speed.
He'll at the very least keep Jerusalem Gates company.
Well, that's not going to happen. Victory Built and Jerusalem Gates are the two speeds on paper. So let me just get this straight. You're once again relying on there to be a contested pace,
I'm just hoping
despite the fact there are never contested paces.
I don't think it's going to be that fast. I'm just hoping that there's a little movement up front.
Okay, fine. What do you like about him, though?
I like the fact that I think if there's some movement up front and falls apart a little bit, I want a horse like him who's going to be making up ground late.
What do you think of his last race?
I don't like any of his races in particular, but I believe, but at the very least, he's been competitive in his races. I don't think I know he has to get faster to compete with these horses, and he's going to give up an edge of position in here. But I mean, I don't want Victory Built going a mile. I don't want Jerusalem Gates off the break again. I don't want Obsessed. I don't want Double Pour. It leaves me with Dangerous Edge. I don't love Dangerous Edge, but I'm not going to take.
We disagree, and that's fine. The problem with Dangerous Edge is that on just the last Beyer speed figure, he actually is competitive in this race. And his last race is a complete phony because his last race featured a sensationally fast pace. And Indian Counselor was the heavy favorite in that race, won, despite getting a poor ride and being absolutely rushed into the monstrous pace. And yet he still beat this horse. So Dangerous Edge's 77 Beyer is a figure that he's unlikely to come close to duplicating, as he really never has in his prior races for different trainers even. So I think he's dressed up with these races. There's not going to be a fast pace. There's never a fast pace in these races, so that won't happen. As far as Jerusalem Gates, I don't particularly trust him. But I think it's interesting that Linda's not dropping this horse further off the last race. And the reality of the last race was this horse actually ran very well in there. This was an extremely strong pace. He broke slowly in there, rushed up to engage the pace. Everybody else in this pace completely fell apart and Perceived had a perfect trip behind them. The second horse, made a run from behind. So I actually thought he ran fairly well last time, and it doesn't really look like he did on paper. So I thought he'd be forward in a race where there wasn't really any speed. And to me, he's the most likely horse to beat Obsessed. That's all. I mean, I think Obsessed is very much the likeliest winner of this race. I'm not going to be surprised when he wins. But to me, I thought Dangerous Edge was dressed up off his last race, and I thought Jerusalem Gates was dressed down.
Okay.
So that's where I went. Race number 2. With the scratches in race number 2, as we look at Flowers Fortune finishing second last time out, Flowers Fortune's probably going to be 1-5 in this race. I mean, I can't even imagine where you're supposed to go in this race after the scratches. I thought Tremaine was the only other horse in the race. With him her scratched, I mean, Flowers Fortune's going to pay $270 in here, isn't she?
I mean, overlay at 1-2. Like, seriously, it was an overlay at 1-2.
Well, the thing about her is that she was 3 wide last time against a gold rail. She had not run well the time before that, but she was running against better horses in that race. I mean, she's run some good races. I don't totally rely on her, and I liked having the 6 in there so that you could have another backup and a horse so you could say, well, if Flowers Fortune doesn't run, I'm confident the 6 is the other horse. Now, I don't even know where to go. Now, maybe she doesn't show up, and I guess Maria's Gift, the 8, is the only other horse to go. But my God, she's going to be a short price.
She's the only other place to go. And do you really want to go there? A couple of consecutive second-place finishes where she just didn't finish the job. I mean, I would think you'd have to wonder if maybe a little bit less ground is better for Maria's Gift.
Well, she was on a gold rail last time. She's not getting less ground. It's the same mile that she ran the last 3 times.
No, I'm saying is I'm thinking she might need a little bit less ground, and she's not doing that today.
I think she just isn't very good. I mean, she's just given it up. She had a dream trip in the last 2 races, good rails in both of those races.
You originally had Tremaine second, right?
I thought Tremaine was very much the other horse, was against the track last time out. It was very interesting in here. She's not running. I got nothing else. I mean, I got the 8 by default, and I don't like the 8 at all in this race. Race number 3. You like Binkster. Go ahead.
I do. I'm hoping that Pablo Morales, the rider change to Pablo Morales with Dylan on the bench, Dylan Davis on the bench, still obviously with the collarbone. The class relief from I think the funny guy race, obviously Stan the Man, Yopan. This horse is not going to have to deal with that kind of pressure on the front end. I would imagine this horse is going to be in front today.
Well, he's a lone speed on paper.
He's supposed to just be gone today. That was really it here for me. I don't know if Trouble is going to be helped or hindered by the cut back to 6 from the 7. I mean, he's a horse that he had every chance to win last time, Andy.
We'll take a look at his last race.
This is a tough. If you liked this horse last time, this is a tough beat. No, I mean, a tough beat's the wrong word.
No,
how did this horse win?
He hung like a chandelier.
Yeah.
This was a very bad loss for him. But at the end of the day, he's fast enough, and he should be in a good stalking spot, so he's fine.
But he's going to be such a short price. David has him 6-5 on the morning line. You want this horse at around even money? I don't want him at around. I mean, I picked him second, but off this effort.
No, I picked
this horse had run in a year and a half.
I picked him third. I didn't like his last race. He just barely beat somebody. I'm not sure he'll be 6-5. Maybe he will. I think a lot of it depends on Binkster. David's got Binkster 6-1. I don't think that's possible. He's the lone speed, and he's got races in back that are fast enough to win this race. Now, perhaps Binkster's finished, and he certainly gave an indication, as he hasn't been out now and going on over 4 months. His race to clench in the slop was awful, and he's run well in sloppy tracks before. But his races 3 and 4 back, he'd be favored off those races as lone speed and the fast horse. So I have trouble believing he'll be 6-1. I think he'll be closer to 3-1 in here. I never imagined that he'd be the 5th choice on paper. I'm going to have to disagree with David here. I'll be surprised. Maybe he's right, but I'll be surprised. He's lone speed. I don't know what to do with Trouble. I don't like him. He's had his chances. I don't like his last 2 races, frankly. He's kind of 2 back. I mean, he was against the track, but he was also picking up pieces, and running with Scissors was much better than him. I guess Zavion's okay. I like Frosted Ice in here. Frosted Ice, to me, we talked about this horse last time he ran, and that I think this is a very interesting trainer change to Michelle Nevin and a serious upgrade to Michelle Nevin, who, as you know, I think is one of the best trainers around here. And he's not a miler anyway. And this is a horse that really had potential as a 2-year-old. Now, he's a 5-year-old now. He was running some silly spots, and he obviously never improved in that form. But I thought last time he showed life. He ran the best figure pretty much he's run in a while. One of the fastest races he's ever run, actually. Trying to go a mile with a wide trip against a gold rail and too close to the pace. He's a closing sprinter type. And today is the day he's supposed to run his race. Now, ultimately, he might not be good enough. He's never run a figure fast enough. But today's the day, if you believe, like I do, that Michelle is going to do okay with this horse, you're supposed to bet on him, because Zavion's just not that good. He didn't run badly last time. The pace did fall apart. Morning Breeze never wins. Binkster's unreliable. And as you say, Trouble's tough to trust. Doesn't mean Frosted Ice is good enough. Doesn't mean the pace is going to be fast enough for him, but I'll take my chances.
The other thing about Zavion is...
Is it Zavion or Zavion?
This is really... Go Zavion. I think Johnny and I say Zavion.
Zavion is with a B. Is that with a...
That's Zavion. That's
a B.
This is not the Italian dessert. No. I don't know
what
this is. No, it's not. I tell
Maybe
you,
it's the god of Italian desserts.
Zavion's the horse.
Oh, that could be you. Yeah. You could be the god of Italian desserts.
Stabile. Zavion was
That's just
Jimmy Bond. Yeah. They're going back. They're playing Zavion's game today. They're going 6 today. And I think maybe the races, look, Brian's Cat ran the hole in the wind again in the Peeping Tom last time out. Even the race against More Grateful going the 7. I know he won going 6.5, but that was down at Parks. He won here going 6. So, and he figures to be the one in closest proximity to Binkster early on, I would think. I mean, I guess Trouble's not going to be too far.
What about Trash Talker?
Yeah, I don't know what to make of Trash Talker.
I don't think Zavion's particularly fast. I think he's sort of similar pace to...
Down inside, though, doesn't he have to be... I mean, wouldn't you try to be a little aggressive? I mean, I guess you could take advantage of getting in front of Frosted Ice, because Frosted Ice, he figures to be able to easily clear Frosted Ice and save some ground.
To me, the key to this race is Binkster. If Binkster can still run, then he's going to be very tough in here. If he can't still run, the race becomes wide open. But I'll be very interested to see what price he is. So,
if I was Pablo Morales, I'd be as aggressive as possible when the gate opens, just try and clear.
If you were Pablo Morales, you know what you'd be?
3 in front with Binkster. That's where I'd be. That I can tell you.
I was going to say thinner.
Oh, yeah.
But I would be thinner, too. I like people to think that I'd have to lose about 50 pounds. Race number 4 kicks off the late pick 5. Race number 3 kicks off the Empire 6 with a mandatory pad every day, 27. That'll continue through Aqueduct, at least. So the discussion in this race, there were 2 things we knew. The favorite would be Domina, and Anthony would pick Candy Jar. That I knew. Other than that, I found this race to be very tricky. We'll look at Dovima, and we'll go back to the turf race. She lost to In Front, who's not a bad horse. Lost to Cost Benefit, not a bad horse in the prior race. The problem with Dovima is, I think I said to Chad Brown the other day, well, the only thing you had left to do was try her going short on turf.
Every other combination's been ticked off. The box has been ticked off, and
she's lost races she shouldn't have lost. She actually
she's lost 3 races. She's probably lost 3 races. At least 2 races she shouldn't have lost.
She shouldn't have lost this race.
Nope.
She ran very well in her first dirt race, where she was against the track and they were good horses. But she shouldn't have lost to Movie Moxie, and she was awful last time out. I can't trust this horse at all. I would never take her a short price, but she is the horse to beat.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more with everything you said.
Now, as far as Candy Jar, we'll take a look at her last race. Finish exactly. Why do you like her?
I like her.
Besides Vilmont.
This might be a simple case of mathematics. She's just getting a little bit more ground. I think
Why does she need
she's
more
making
ground?
it well. She's been making it
last
ground.
time.
No, but last time she was.
She did.
They went a little slower early on last
Okay.
time, and she was just naturally closer. I think, with a more sensible pace. I don't like those 5 furlong turf races down at Gulfstream
But what
Park.
about her suggestion she'll be better at 6?
Well, her first 2 starts certainly looked like she wanted more ground, and like I said, she was kind of naturally closer last time because they went slower up front early.
Okay. All right, we'll just agree to disagree. I don't think the distance mattered. I'm sure not possible. We don't know. I like a horse that ran behind her last time, and that's Travaise on the outside for Christophe. Watched that race. Speeds were 3-1-4 in there, so basically the pace held together fairly well. And as you pointed out, it wasn't particularly fast paced. And she was actually kind of galloping out well in there. I'm not big on the gallop out, but she had no speed. Kind of just put it in hand in the back of the pack, and felt like a horse that probably needed a race. And you're running down on that, whatever they call that turf down, whatever that is down there. I don't know what it really is. It's something. I don't even know what color it is. And I just think this is kind of horse probably more meant to run up here. Purses are stronger, probably needed a race. And I'm going to hope that there was some intention with this horse to get her to this race. And I don't think there are any killers. I think the wild cards are both her and Political Gridlock, the first time for Chad Brown. It's funny with Political Gridlock. I'm sure you can look up the pedigree, and I know it's an Air Force Blues war front, but I didn't see the 2-year-old workout. But the dam side, she's produced 4 horses to dry the turf, none of them did any running whatsoever. And it's really a better dirt family, but sometimes when Chad Brown does that, maybe it just means they can't run at all. And sometimes it's a good sign when he does that. His numbers with first-time stars from 5 to 6 furlongs, he's 17% with 47 stars, $1.47 ROI. So it's not something that works out, which in a lot of ways says a lot of the times the ones he runs in these races just aren't that good.
I did actually look up the pedigree, and there was just nothing to really say about it. There was nothing good to say about it, I should say. Nothing really.
Were there any pedigrees near that caught your eye?
I mean, Mun Love gets back to the turf. She's a half the Santique and that family.
Well, she's been on the turf.
But she's been on turf. No, I mean, nothing really. Lily Simone's back. She was tipped out the first couple of times. Half Division Perfect, who turned into a stakes winner, but that was for Jason Service later on in his career.
But she's running the turf.
She's running the turf too. Yeah, I know.
Star Divine. There is pedigree for beater. There's no real dam side production, but there is pedigree, and Jorge Abreu can be dangerous.
He can be dangerous with firsters, but his turf sprint numbers aren't great.
No, better with 2-year-olds probably. We'll see. I think that both favorites are very vulnerable in this race. Dovima is going to be short. She's a horse to beat. I'm not a big fan. I'm not a big fan of Candy Jar. I guess she's possible, but I wasn't a big fan. Take a shot with Travaise. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with the late pick 4.
Sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit nairabets.com.
Welcome back to Talking Horses. Big A, Anthony Stabile, Andy Serling. Starting off the penultimate week here at Aqueduct. I always feel a little sad when we leave Aqueduct. I love being at Aqueduct. We've been here almost 6 months, 5.5 months.
Yeah.
Amazing, right?
Crazy. And the whole time, you know, it was funny. I had a Facebook memory come up last year cleaning out the office when it was going to turn into an emergency.
Is there any clothes in there?
No, emergency hospital, which thankfully the city and the state never needed. And we've been a vaccination center. They've been doing COVID testing in the parking lot. I don't think people realize the history in this building. Pope was here in 1995.
Did he make any money? I heard he took a tough beat in the pick 3. In fact, I think the Pope...
He needed Gasper for 3,000. He got beat.
The Pope was instrumental in the introduction of pick 4.
He needed shots of ringing Pete Ferriola.
So if you guys have a 50-cent pick 4 instead of this like dollar pick 3, I really think that could really take off. And we have him to thank for it.
It was a hub during 9/11.
Did he drive here in the Pope Mobile?
Remember
the Pope Mobile?
I do.
Were you in Saratoga or were you here? Did you come for it?
No, I did not.
They had a huge crowd, like 40,000 or something, right?
Yeah.
What year was that?
95 he was here.
Why didn't you come?
Hub for, I don't remember. I was invited.
You were probably scalping tickets.
I was invited to. No, I tried. I was invited too.
I'm sure you tried. I'm sure you did.
I absolutely did.
I'm sure you did. You even called the Pope and said, "Hey, do you have any extra tickets that I could sell?" And
JP, listen, I could use.
You needed to put it in the
half
pick 3.
a dozen. Yeah. Hub for 9/11. Did a bunch of all the supplies and stuff. Again, Red Cross set up shop here in 2012 for Hurricane Sandy.
Why do I not remember that?
All of it. Oh yeah, all of it.
We weren't open.
We opened.
Oh, we were delayed.
We were delayed because it was that week. We closed Belmont Park and we went over. So, and I live a mile and a half from here my whole life, so I see it all go on. And I was affected greatly by Sandy, so I was here and just trying to get into a familiar place when a lot of stuff was shut down. Aqueduct's a very special place to me, but Aqueduct's a very special place in the history of New York racing.
Oh,
and
first
for the
track
city,
I ever went to besides Saratoga when I was a kid, 74.
Me too.
Yeah. Me too. It was. I'm sure
the old girls helped out an awful lot, not just getting us home.
The old days at Aqueduct were great when it was all open. The whole place was huge, and go visit different people in different places. Remember Filomena, the Italian restaurant?
Sure.
That place was good.
I remember. And most people don't remember when they're 5 years old, but I remember 5 years old going to PS 207 in August.
Were you teaching?
I was not teaching. And they said, "What time do you want to go to kindergarten?" They would ask my parents, "What time do you want to go to kindergarten? Do you want to sign them up for 8:30 to 11:30, or for 1 to 4?"
Well, you were 8:30 to 11:30.
I said 8:30 to 11:30. I want to go to the track afterwards, and I did. I went to kindergarten.
The only other place that I know where you could have grown up was Saratoga. Because that's where we were in Saratoga.
Right.
We all loved the track. You'd have been at Saratoga Harness with me every night.
That would have been great.
Race number 5.
Instead of Roosevelt and Yonkers.
What do you do with Road to Meath? We'll go back 4 races, actually, to Road to Meath, finishing second. Going back, I mean, Weaver claims this horse for a quarter, now off. Do you really think he claimed this horse in the middle of January?
No.
Whoever wanted to claim this horse, so they could lay it off until April? I mean,
it's so...
I could never bet this horse.
So that's the first thing, right?
He may win, but I could never bet him.
The fact that George Weaver, in the last 15 months, has claimed 2 horses, 3 horses.
Well, he doesn't have a lot of owners that want to claim.
Right, which is strange.
I don't think that George claimed. I think the owner, and whatever reason.
I agree with
doubt
that.
George called and said, "Hey, there's a really great one to claim."
That. But
it's not really what he does. It doesn't seem to be.
None of it makes a lot of sense. And then, like you said, you claim him. You don't see him now for 11 weeks.
You missed the whole.
You missed the whole winter.
11 weeks, Anthony. No, 12 weeks.
12 weeks. I mean,
it's
the 8th already. I can't believe. I keep forgetting it's the 8th already.
You want to have it? We get a chalkboard. We do some basic math.
Yeah. I mean, this horse can obviously win. He's in the Crossroads race too. He's in all the pick 4s, all the pick 5s, and the Empire 6. Right. He would blow the field out of the water. But he's also kind of
a bit of a phony anyway. He's always, I know he won that race at Saratoga, but nobody was in there, and it's just kind of, this is a horse you and I have talked about. I remember you liked him the turf at Saratoga, and I said to you, be very careful. This guy is a bit of a phony. He's always been not as good as he looks. Having said that,
his 2 wins were kind of right place at the right time, too. Yeah, I'm gonna use him in the pick 4 and the pick 5, but how could you want to take a short price?
Okay, so
on this
I am
race?
perplexed. What do you like about inside info?
So I had a tough time with this race. I left the race open to 1, 2, 3, 6.
Is there a big excuse for his last race?
1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 8. No, I have no excuse. Here's what I will say though. This horse came back off of an October layoff, so 5 months almost.
Okay.
That was that one right? 5 months?
Yeah, I think that would be...
that would be accurate.
That would be 21 weeks,
He
21
didn't
plus
run
weeks.
2 steps. Common
get
is
the extra
protected
week for every
stretch,
3.
ease through the lane,
Extra
essentially
check.
eased. Horses like this, when they're beaten more than 25 lengths in New York, you have to work. This horse has worked 3 times since that race, including a week later, which leads me to believe that, listen, obviously this horse isn't what Linda wanted when she claimed him for 16, running him in all the other ends. But the fact of the matter is, this horse ran in the 16-2 life, and now he's back essentially at the level he was claimed for. I don't know what happened last time. I know that the fact that
You don't have a tip on this horse.
I don't have a tip on this horse. The fact that this horse... No story. The fact that this horse worked 3 times, including 1 week after he was essentially eased. These are not horses I ever pick. I usually stay away from these horses. I had a tough time with this race. There's 3 works. I'm going to take a little shot with him. But I have no story. I think I've kind of concocted a story in my head. But
you had to pick. I mean, let me ask you a question.
Yeah, I'm going to default to Linda and Rudy. That's what I'm going to do.
I got a question. Rudy has 1 horse in today. He didn't pick it on top. Does he know?
Imagine this.
Does he know? If I had his number,
This horse was.
You should apologize on the air to Rudy with the disrespect you're showing to your idol, Rudy Rodriguez.
Inside info, and this is not something I ordinarily do.
It's quite a 1-2 punch.
I saw that you picked Mitch and Wrap It Up. I knew you were going to talk about him. I said, you know what?
You don't have the top 4, so what does that have?
Well, I'm just saying, because I could throw the 6 of them in the air and literally, this horse was just too.
You didn't throw the 6 in the air and pick these 2 ridiculous horses 1-2.
Well, I picked Linda and Rudy. That's what I did. Okay. But this horse, I picked this horse because I think he's a little interesting.
Called me crazy.
I think he was a little interesting.
I don't like anybody in this race either. I don't disagree. You know? I mean, I guess Beachfront is okay off the claim for Linda. Not impossible. Wasn't involved in the pace last time, but didn't really run very well. I don't know.
But do you trust it? Right? Do you trust him off that last race?
I want Mission Wrap It Up, who, this is a significant drop. This horse chased wide. The rail was very good that day. Those were significantly better horses. The horse didn't even run that badly considering. I just took a shot that this horse could refine some of the okay form and is kind of dressed down. Wet track 3 back in that Montauk traffic race when was chasing outside the day he wanted to be on the rail. Then was outside again in a race that was dominated inside, and then was wide last time and didn't run that badly. And it's against the track trip. Makes him good enough to win this race if Road to Meath doesn't run really well, and I'll take my chance. I thought he was dressed up or dressed down enough that he'd be a decent enough price. So I was going to bet Mission Wrap It Up. Mm-hmm. Race number 6, we agreed I was going to change my pick. The key to this race is with the presence of Aristocratic, Foolish Ghost shouldn't be able to get the advantage he had last time when he loafed around the racetrack. And we'll take a look at his race 2 back when Gemography, who's on a monster run here for Mark Hennig, who he's been very fortunate in that run, but he's been in good form as well, runs him down. And I do think Foolish Ghost is kind of the worst to beat. My concern is with the presence of Aristocratic, and he's a last time was the time horse, I feel like it'll make it a little tough for him.
I mean, it has to make it a little tougher for him. I mean, I guess it doesn't have to, but man, if this horse isn't right on top of him,
you would think, but you never know around here. I never liked Gemography because he's been very fortunate in his races and he's run well. This is a significantly better field than any field he's met by a mile.
It is.
And there are horses with similar running styles that are significantly better than he is. Like, I don't know how he can be expected to beat. Well, isn't there just one? I mean, isn't it just Big Engine? You think? No, I think Montauk Traffic is significantly better than him, too.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Montauk Traffic ran last time. He was never on the rail. He made that big, wide run against the track. It wasn't a good field, but he ran last time. In fact, we'll get to him. Show Big Engine running with scissors. Big Engine didn't run well last time, but he's going to run better today.
You have a lot of confidence that he's going to run better today?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. He wasn't right on the inside the whole way. He was a little off. But I will say one thing. Running with scissors was chasing outside against a good rail, and he should be sitting in a good spot 3rd here. So I put him on top at a slightly better price. thought this was a tough race. I thought it was mostly Big Engine and Running with Scissors here, and a little bit of Montauk Traffic, who we'll get to in a moment.
Okay. I thought it was Running with Scissors, and I'll ride the Gemography wave a little longer, especially if they're going to give me a square price on it. I mean, you know, I don't love Big Engine.
You like horses off limbs, I don't.
I did not like Big Engine's last race.
Okay, he still ran a figure that would make him tough in this race.
He did. He absolutely did. But Gemography's also going to be 3 times the price.
I don't like Gemography at all,
Right.
so have at it. But
Yeah.
I don't think he's defensible in here. But okay, I haven't liked him in his other races either. I've been wrong, but I don't. You know, you bet horses off limbs.
I don't know what to do with Montauk Traffic.
We'll take a look at his last race. He was very good. The thing about Montauk Traffic is Linda got away with one last time.
Well, okay, so I think that's the better. If you feel like
This horse
she,
ripped.
I know he did. I know he did. If you feel like she got away with one, truth be told, if you feel like she got away with one, you're almost supposed to bet this horse today.
You can win.
Yeah, I think if you feel like I don't know if she got away.
I'll use the 3, 4, and 6.
I don't know if she got away with one. I'm not convinced she got away with one. But if you believe that, you're supposed to be betting on
the 200 starters off of wins and dirt sprints and Naira, she has unbelievable numbers. It's incredible. It shows that moving up, they win. Horses are paying basically $9.
Yeah. And
she's winning at a 25% clip. That is extremely impressive for trainers' horses get bet. We'll see. We'll see how much pressure there is. I didn't. Foolish Ghost has been a little faint-hearted at times, though I've always kind of liked him more than you have, but we'll see how it works out.
No, I got no problem with him, but you just got to figure, I mean, he's supposed to have I don't want to say the opposite setup as last time because he's going to be in front, but he's supposed to have this horse breathing down his neck today. Aristocratic's a fast horse.
We'll see. I don't know. I don't rely on paces getting fast around here because they so rarely do. I think the worst thing you can do here is continuously make the mistake of thinking paces are going to be fast because they aren't. Race number 7. Is Chad Brown's Euro really the horse to beat in here? Why am I supposed to be confident with this horse going 6 furlongs?
You're not. You're absolutely not. But this was another one that was, I thought, a little bit of a head scratcher if you did not want to.
But isn't he just going to be bet because it's Chad Brown?
Yep.
And this is a confusing race, and I don't know, man. I mean, I actually always root for Chad to do well, but I
don't know how good this horse has to be to beat these horses.
I don't know. I don't know what's good about this horse's races over in Europe. Maybe the horse need Lasix. That's a possibility, but
Horse is coming here, getting, like you said.
It's not like the turf was that off, you know. I mean, this horse's races over in Europe, they're not that good. I am skeptical of this horse and why I would never not use him in a pick 4, pick 5. I'm going to try to beat him. I don't. Is Fetching really going to be the same price as Rivendell and Too Sexy we're going to get to? I thought Fetching could be close to favoritism in here. I thought,
did too.
You know, Chad's favored by default, but then we'll take a look. I mean, she got a very good ride in here, but well, the horse was second. The gray horse was best.
You look at her last 3.
She's been in great form.
You look at her last 3 turf sprints, right? Robin Sparkles, Cost Benefit, and Lead Guitar.
Yeah. And even Abuse of Power was good.
Yeah.
And she was interfered with in this race. I mean...
You obviously have to worry about the layoff, but this is a different kind of layoff.
I agree.
But it's a different kind of layoff because she's just not a dirt horse. So you're not going to run her in the winter. And she's won from November to June.
I think that she's the logical horse in here. I understand why the 9 is favored, but I think she's logical. You have her 4th?
I have a 4th based on the fact that despite everything I said about the layoff and this and that, I don't think she's going to be 4 to 1. I don't think she's going to be 4 to 1. I don't think she's going to be 4 to 1. I think she's going to be a shorter price, and I think at a shorter price, I'd probably rather mess around because I do, like you, I believe Rivendell and Too Sexy will both be better prices than her. And again, they kind of all look. I don't want to say they all look the same, but
okay. We'll look at Rivendell beating Too Sexy first time out. Here's my problem with Rivendell. She's slow. This was a bad race.
You hated this race.
It's a bad race.
Yep.
And Too Sexy's a money burner. And I know she finally won last time. She beat another Clermont horse actually last time. I don't know, man. She ain't. These horses, I just don't think they're very good. I'm not saying they can't win. They could, but
you could be right. You may very well be right. They might not. They just might be what they. They are what they are.
Here's the problem with this race. There's something shocking about this race, right?
Something shocking about this race?
Yeah.
I mean, there's no speed.
I don't think it's possible that you've ever seen a sprint on the turf with less speed than this race. I mean, this...
Stunning Munnings is supposed to be in front, right?
Really,
but how can you trust
really
that?
Speed.
Right, she's not really speed. I know.
I picked the 2, and she's a little slow, but she's not that far slow, and she's got plenty of room to move up. And I just think the junior has no choice in this race, and Kimmel and Junior have no choice. You're on the rail in a paceless race, and you're as fast as anybody. Faster than most.
Broker maiden, gate to wire.
Just go.
Yeah.
Just go.
You know,
if let me put it this way. If they rate her, what chance does she have in
Zero.
this? Zero.
She's not kicking half the field.
She may go to the lead and get nothing.
But
if they rate her, it's just the dumbest thing I've ever seen in my life.
She's getting nothing if she rates.
Right,
Correct.
Nothing.
You know what? My biggest problem with her.
She's not a bad horse, Ant.
This doesn't bother people as much as it bothers me. Why was she in for the tag? She's in for the tag both times. Now, look, is anybody going to claim her? Probably not. But why in for the tag?
I don't know. She was.
Yeah. I don't know. That bugs me.
Okay. It doesn't bother me. And over
But you're
time,
right. Listen, they're supposed to.
Nothing.
That gate opens. She's supposed to be in front.
Just go. And I don't like anybody in here. And she's not that bad. She's not that bad. She's no killer, but she's not that bad. And that race here at 6 furlongs, she didn't break that day, and she chased too wide against a gold rail and just gave me no chance whatsoever. Her other races are good enough. I'm going to take a shot with her. She also didn't race with Lasix that day. Maybe she had an issue with that.
Right, stakes race, no Lasix.
I don't love her, but I kept looking through here, and I thought, I'll pick Fetching. I was going to pick Fetching. I think Fetching's going to be 5 to 3 to 1 here.
Me too.
I may be wrong. But, David's usually right about things. I don't see her being the same price as Rivendell and Too Sexy, who she's just clearly better than.
I think it'll also depend. I mean, there's a chance that Love and Thunder, the number 9, is even money in here.
You never know with these Chad Brown horses. She may be very short. You might be right. Love and Thunder may win this race. I don't know. He's not my kind. And no, believe me, the last horse I would ever ask Chad Brown about is this horse.
Right.
I mean, I think a lot of times when he runs them shorter, maybe they're a little rank, and he thinks that it's a way to get him, But here's the problem with that. There's no pace in here. If there were speed in this race, I'd feel more comfortable with her.
If that's the case, wouldn't that help her a little bit? Just pull her in closer?
No.
Leave her with less to do?
The reason you want, let me explain it. The reason you want a horse that gets a little rank, it's a runoff, like cost benefit, is because they're going to run away from them. And she's not going to because she's not fast enough to run with them, so they'll run away from them.
Okay.
That's more the case. And this is something I've talked to Chad about more than that. It's a question of...
What does he know?
Distance isn't the big issue as much as the rankness. He was getting frustrated with cost benefit because she ran off, and he didn't think she was a speed, and she won one.
That other filly, too, that came over...
Yes. Yeah, but she turned out...
She ran second to Zantique in the sprint.
Chad Brown found out about...
Olendon or something?
Olendon?
Yeah, Olendon, right?
He found out that she'll run second to anybody at any distance in any particular situation.
Any surface.
She doesn't want to win.
She doesn't want to win.
Under any circumstances.
But it was the same kind of thing. She was a rank type.
Exactly. Exactly right. I love those texts in the racing office. Attention trainers. I love those.
You took out your license? What?
Well,
breaking news.
I saw what was going on out there, and I figured...
I don't have a lot of money. I would pay any of it to see you check legs and put a bandage on.
How about getting up at 4 in the morning?
There's a lot of money for that.
I go to bed at 4 in the morning.
They don't all get up at 4 in the morning. No, you don't have to worry about that.
Has a schedule.
You don't have to worry about that. But I would like to see you check legs and get on your knees and do a bandage.
Okay. So the last race, we'll look at Wicked Happy, the last turf race, finishing 3rd, beaten by Valletta. Wicked Happy is the horse to beat in here, and maybe she's going to win because there really is not a lot compelling going on in here, but I think you and I have the same opinion in here. She's the horse to beat, she's an anchor of Engineer and any pick 5s, but you want to find somebody to pick against her with.
Valletta
she's actually okay, though, this horse.
Valletta's went on to win twice, I believe, at Gulfstream, including at like a
Danny
mile.
Gargan won at Gulfstream?
Especially, and she won one of them at like a mile and 7/16, so one of them crazy mile and a half distances.
I love the mile and 7/16 races.
Yeah.
I'll never forget when I was down there that winter when there was that 7-pound bug rider that sent his horse around the turn the first time and opened up 8 top of the stretch, and they went by the wire, and he was waving the whip in the air. And then, it got a little tougher after that. And the annoying thing was, Kieran had a horse in that race, and I think Kieran said that, I don't think he bet him, but somebody close to him bet the horse. The horse was a huge price, and that was the speed. And because this horse won the mission, and Kieran's horse got nailed the wire, I feel like Chad Brown may have won. It could have been Motion. One of those guys just nailed with some mediocre horse, beat him right at the wire. And he was like 15-1. And he's like, it was a terrible beat, that kid, yeah.
Wow.
I don't think he's still riding.
I was talking to a few friends about this last night. We went through the honor roll of guys and gals who are no longer riding.
And yet your father's had their book?
I mean, no. My father actually had some decent riders along
Travis
the way.
Dunkelberg.
We never won a race here with Dunkelberger.
I must have told that
He
story.
did walk around with the ketchup bottles and told everybody, he was handed out, he said, here, have some ketchup with your Dunkelberger.
Do you know the story that the doc told me? The famous story of Dunkelberg? When he started riding Travis, he was about this big. He was tiny, right? He was like 16 or something. And he said he once saw your father get in the front seat of the car and you and Travis get in the back seat. And he said, if that car takes a sharp turn, we're never going to see Travis again.
Great. Travis, he had a Globe.
He had a good career,
Like
Travis.
Wound up winning like
Won a lot of races.
3,500 races
Yeah.
or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's back home.
I remember when he first had him. Did he just wear a cowboy hat or something?
Such a sick individual. Very sick man.
Spoken by a sick individual. You picked Zerenia. Let me ask you about Zerenia. What makes you think she wants any part of a mile? Even though she's at Tiz now.
That was it. I was hoping that Tiz now would be able to get it. Another one. I don't really ordinarily like the layoff lines. Her one race in for this level, she showed a little life. The race. I mean, Andy, I had a tough time with this one too.
Yeah, my feeling in here was I didn't want to take anybody with turf experience. Okay. I was going to pick against the 5. That doesn't mean it's going to be right. And you know me, I always like Mike Trombetta horses shipping up here. Javier's riding this horse. Say hi.
And he's staying for the last race.
Ooh. It was John Velasquez riding for Leo O'Brien staying for the last race. Then.
How much money do you think?
I've never lost $1 on that moronic
But how much
angle.
money do you think that angle has cost people?
There's people who are... This horse is a 1/2 turf winner, wasn't very good. The dam herself won the turf. She wasn't that good. You don't have to be that good. The thing I like about the 1 turf winner, who won with a 67 buyer, to be fair, though a 67 buyer would be competitive in this race.
No question about it.
It was a huge improvement over any dirt races.
race.
Now, Strong Mandate is not screaming turf, but I'll take a shot with that horse.
I noticed about this race when I looked at the pedigrees. There wasn't a lot of production for the simple fact that a lot of young mares. Notice that?
There is a very, very funny pedigree horse in this race that's scratched, the 12.
Yeah. Half the Carrick.
And it's so funny this was half the Carrick because the day the entries were drawn, Maggie and I were on the show together, and we were joking about Carrick, who won the Secretariat for Tom Morley, Maggie's husband.
All the time.
And that night I get home and I look up pedigrees, and like one of the first pedigrees I look at, I texted Maggie, I'm like, it's unbelievable.
We had 3 in a row here.
Unbelievable. Anyway, we got to get out of here. It's been fun though. It's nice to be back.
Do it again tomorrow.
We will do it again tomorrow. We'll do it again Saturday, Sunday, the following Thursday.
The following Friday, the following Saturday.
Next weekend as well.
And that's it.
Yeah, it's going to be very exciting. Then
I'm calling Sunday. It's going to rain, and you'll be here.
It's not supposed to rain. There's some showers
and
around. Don't start
you'll
with
bring
that
fog.
nonsense.
You'll bring the fog.
You're going to have an entire week without me. Well, you're not going to be here one of the days. You're going to be so upset about not being on with me that you're going to have to leave
You're
town.
going to be 1,000 miles away from you.
It's only 700 miles to
But I'll be another 900
300.
miles. I'll be another 160 away.
That's how far Mohegan Sun is.
About a 150, and then you're
We're
745.
done. You're rid of us. Once you head over to Naira Bets and sign up, that's what you got to do here.
Bingo.
You got to sign up for Naira Bets.
Match 200's the promo code.
Yeah.
Any track, any place, anytime. Any track, any place, anytime. Saturday evening at 5 p.m. to sign up. And then, of course, America's Day at the Races today from 1 to 6:30 on Fox Sports 2.
I want to say you really handled that with aplomb.
Greg, Maggie, Andy,
No,
Mig.
Maggie's not in today.
Greg, Acacia,
Maggie is traveling.
Andy, Mig.
Maggie's traveling.
That's right, Maggie.
She's making that long, arduous. She wouldn't listen to me.
Maggie
She
will
should have taken the direct flight to Memphis, and you drive from Memphis. Lafitte bought into that. If he had to go, he was going to do that.
I'd rather have Maggie just have to drive the hour. You
It's
guys
not
want
an
to drive
hour.
the
It's an
3
hour
and
and a half, and you got to switch planes.
Is that like switching sticks?
Let me ask you a question. You don't fly.
Don't fly.
One of the reasons you shouldn't fly if you had to switch planes is good luck to running through the airport. I had to
don't
run through the
run.
airport once. I'm still recovering from it.
I don't run.
I had to. I was flying from Nebraska back here on Easter Sunday, very important holiday for me. And I got there with like 20 minutes to go, and I was running to the airport.
When I went to Derby for Vegas Insider in 2008, the travel time would have taken 9 hours and 25 minutes between driving to airports, connecting flights. I said, I'm just driving.
All right, we're done. You don't need to hear this idiotic conversation.
That was it.
Have a wonderful day.
It's over.
Join us on American Day at the Races. I got to head upstairs and join Acacia for the beginning of the show. Have a great day. And Johnny I's up next.
Hello, racing fans, and once again, welcome to Aqueduct. Bright sunshine on this Thursday at the Big A. The temperature in the upper 60s. Main track is fast, the turf courses are firm, and no portable rails in use today. In today's first race, scratch number 1, Irish Giant. Scratch the 1. In the second race, these scratches, scratch 1, Sophie Fatale, 4, Full of Fire, 5, Emmy Winner, and 6, Tremaine. Second race, scratch numbers 1, 4, 5, and 6. No changes in the third. In today's fourth race, scratch 7 as it should be, and 10, Amendment 19. Scratch 7 and 10, and note that number 1, Tipsy Chatter, is 1 pound over. No changes in races 5 or 6. In the seventh race, scratch 1A, She's a Black Belt, 5, Signify, and 8, Forever Changed. Scratch 1A, 5, and 8. And in the eighth and final race, scratch 8, Tilsa, 10, Little Nutter, and the 12, A Higher Love. Scratch 8, 10, and 12. Note that number 6, Synonymous, is 1 pound over. Main track fast, turf courses firm. The Thursday opener at Aqueduct in 28 minutes at 1:20.
It only takes 20 cents to take down an Empire. The Empire 6 is the 20-cent minimum bet with a 100% net pool payout every day at Aqueduct. The sequence is the last 6 races on the card with a 20% takeout each day at Aqueduct. Win big with 20 cents on the Empire 6. For details on the Empire 6, visit nyra.com/Empire 6.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and Naira Bets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With Naira Bets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the Naira Bets app or visit NairaBets.com.
Be a part of the racing action Saturdays at Aqueduct with live money contests available online through Naira Bets. A $300 buy-in adds $200 to your contest account, while the other $100 funds the cash prize pool paid through 10th place. Follow along with the races on America's Day at the Races while keeping track of your leaderboard standings on Naira Bets. After the contest, your bankroll and prize winnings are shifted back into your Naira Bets account to start betting or withdraw. Register to play today at NairaBets.com/contests.
I think when people watch it on TV, they think that it's just a rich man's sport and there's nothing else involved. But when people actually come into this side of the sport and they see, and it puts a lot of dollars back into the industry in New York, and we need to protect that.
Working here, it's given me a life and a sense of security for not only myself financially, but also to provide for my family. Ideally, I would love to have my career here.
I'm a single mom. I was able to raise my son and put him through college, and something I'm very proud of, and I couldn't do it without New York racing.
In the backstretch, there is a community that surrounds the racetrack. People that work day in, day out, loving what they are doing.
I mean, there's electricians, there's plumbers, there's carpenters. There's all these men and women who do jobs every day.
One horse requires a hot walker, a groomer, a person who's going to walk them to the races, the people who take care of them every day. And we need all these people to take care of the horses and to continue moving forward in New York racing.
This job has given me not only hope for tomorrow, but has made so many of my wishes come true.
We're really real people back here working our butts off to make this happen. It's a commitment. There's a lot of people back here that depend on this place.
I had the opportunity to go back to school thanks to the jobs provided for us here.
Our industry is vital within this state.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
Jobs.
Opportunity. Community.
We are New York Racing.
We are New York Horse Racing.
We are New York Racing.